another new product. I need to play with it, and then once I do, I will report back. But basically, this Upshift, there's like a professional curator. So basically, you just deposit FXRP, you receive earn XRP, and then these guys, they do mix of like borrowing and lending, and then they use this capital for other LPs. So they're basically kind of what I'm teaching you, somebody else does it for you, and then you just deposit here. And I think they're expecting to get APY between 7 and 10% yearly right now, because they just launched like a couple days ago. So they can't really have an APY. So I think that this is also a good place to just print some money and not have to worry about. So now, once this APY starts being more realized and more real, because like APY in one day, it's very like it's erroneous, but if you have it for a year, then that APY becomes more real. So this is going to be probably traded here as well, because this is like, there's going to be bolts here. So it's going to be the staked XRP, it's going to be the earn XRP. So if at some point you think that the yield is going to go down, then you lock in that yield because you're buying the discount with the principal token. And if you expect the APY to go up, then you can gamble by buying the yield leverage or the yield token, because you know that the APY is going to go up. So if you have that, then that future yield is going to be worth more tomorrow than it is today. So it's a lot of things are coming up. Next thing that Hugo mentioned 2 days ago, can't wait to Flare to launch XRPL smart accounts. Control your FXRP on Flare and other chains. They haven't they haven't said what's happening here, but seems like FXRP is going multi-chain pretty quickly, directly from the XRP ledger. So what this means is that you're going to go on Shaman, you have your XRP, are you going to say deposit this here? You're going to send a message. That message communicates with Flare, and everything gets done on the back end. You receive your token, you receive your yield. You don't have to worry about all the like another wallet and everything. So I think this is going to bring an insane amount of TVL to the Flare network. And then finally, proof rails. As you guys know, we have the ISO 222 as a standard for messaging. And I think that, what was it, like 1 month ago, 2 months ago? That's when they actually implemented it. So now every single banking transaction needs to have ISO 222 messaging system. That means that there has a certain structure that those message becomes compatible between everybody. It's like a standardization of interbanking messaging. So XRP is not ISO compliant. Now Ripple and their products are ISO compliant. So if you send a payment using RippleNet, then RippleNet can create that message that gets sent to the other banking institution. So even if a payment gets used with crypto, that banking institution can get that message translated and put it into their system. So what these guys are making is using the verified data from Flare to verify that a transaction happened, and then print that ISO 222 compliant message that can be attached. So this is a new product, but what this is going to allow is that in the near future, you could use any network, any crypto, any transaction to do interbank payments, because the messaging is going to be compatible with the current banking messaging system. So this is also very exciting. I mean, exciting if you know what exciting is. Not exciting because there's not going to be a meme token is not going to go to the moon. It's just these things that are complete infrastructure and railways that are not necessarily exciting unless you understand the overall picture that Mr. Man is always telling us. So this is just how everything is getting connected. I'm pretty excited about this. I need to make an interview with this guy so I can like learn more about how they're seeing. But I think, I think that next year is going to be pretty exciting. I mean, like everything, it's going to be good days and bad days. But I think that certain utility cryptos are going to get accelerated in the use case and everything. Hugo said in the interview with Paul Barron that he expects January to increase the TVL because there's going to be at least one institution that is coming in. And those institutions can be Vivo Power, I would not be surprised if Evernorth uses Flare Network for some of its capital. So the question is, at what point of TBL increasing does the price follow? I don't like focusing too much on the price because that's something that is outside of my control. What I focus is on understanding, learning how to use these tools, and realizing what is making Flare and the Enshrined oracles become so powerful. Because I was talking to Mr. Man of this Camila, what's her name? Camila?
Dr. Camila Stevenson.
Yeah. So she talks a lot about how once you change the priorities, like when you have a system that is always working and everything is good, then you have a little bit of lags. If the money takes 3 days or whatever, if it's a little bit more expensive, it doesn't matter. But once things get tight and you need to work on efficiency, certainty, and settlement, then how the valuation because of the priorities can change so quickly. So I think that in the near future, a lot of cryptos are going to start shining because those priorities are going to become top of the list for a lot of people on the finance sector, like investors, institutions, banking, governments, and everything. And I think that those assets are going to start becoming in the front because their values or their value is going to be more important for other people that maybe right now they cannot see. So future looks bright, guys. I'm very excited. I mean, this was an amazing year, even with all the shit that went on. And I think next year is going to be even more exciting. And my message to you guys is to not wait for other people to make it excited for you. Make it excited for yourself. Create, build, learn, explore, live. Do all of those things that make this investment better because it doesn't really matter if you make a lot of money if you don't have health, if you're not enjoying your life, like that like the money has to be the consequence and the means to do the things that you want, not why you're doing things. So future looks bright, guys. I'm looking forward for 2026. I'm looking forward to keep learning with you guys and sharing all the cool things that are coming. And yeah, wishing you a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Next week I won't be able to make it, but I'll see you in January. And I'm sure there's going to be a few news to share with you guys and explore.
I just want to say, so with Proofrail, this now allows for off-chain to come on-chain for TradFi, correct? So if that's how it's moving, this essentially allows Flare to be used as a as the oracle that it actually is to allow timestamping for movement from transactions happening off chain on chain. Is that correct?
Correct. So this is the communication
Share.
between the on-rail and the on-chain and off-chain, because now the ISO messaging is the off-chain standard.
Yeah.
So now you can connect those two to crypto, and because Flare has enshrined oracles, that means that they're built into the protocol, and that works for pricing or for prices, but also for events, which is the Flare data connector. So that means that the Flare data connector can witness events outside of itself and then use the whole Flare consensus to prove that that event happened. That event could be a football match. That event would be a weather. That event could be a transaction on the Bitcoin network, on the XRP ledger, on Solana, anywhere. Because if the Flare data connector is connected to watch those events, then you have 100 validators that need to prove that that event really happened. If everybody on the Flare network agrees that that is correct, then that data is verified and it gets pushed on the other side. So
This
this is the banking connection that is based on the ISO 222 messaging standard that allows to use the Flare verified data or the oracles to prove that something happened to the banking system.
this has me bullish, man. This has me very, very bullish for 2026, especially with Flare, man. Very bullish.
Yeah. So it is produce ISO 222 style messages that fit existing reconciliation flows. Evidence by default, every record ships with a signed deterministic bundle. audit ready, on-chain anchor for timestamp and integrity. Capture, the system captures on-chain events with minimal context. Translate, the engine provides an ISO-style record and a normalized receipt. Proof Rails emits a signed deterministic evidence bundle and anchored. It has on-chain for a public timestamp and integrity check. So basically, this is what I was saying. So you're creating an ISO grade receipt and evidence that an on-chain event happened. Pretty cool, man. I mean, I'm doing anything that I can to accumulate more XRP and Flare.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm good on my. I have debt. I mean, I pretty much have what I put in. Like the amount of debt that I have is more or less the amount of money that I put in to crypto. And that's my drone, that's my computer, that's a couple trips that I did this year, pretty much my rent all the summer. And I'm still good. Like I'm far from being liquidated. So I have that's been like using my assets to finance the things that I've needed to be where I am this year. Like I have not done any frugal spending at all. Everything has been things that I've needed. And everything else that I can, it's how do I accumulate more Flare? How do I accumulate more FXRP? Because whatever happens in the next few months in the short term, if I zoom out enough, I'm extremely bullish on everything that is happening here. And like I said before, I feel like the priorities that are going to be coming from like the world events are going to shift that products like this, products like Flare, like I mean, the October 10th liquidation event, like the whole thing that started it was one bad pricing from Binance. Binance mispriced one stablecoin, I think 45% below the current price, and that created like a on like how do you call it, like a cascading event. So like one liquidation created another one that didn't peg it. It's insane. Chainlink has had a few of those that for whatever reason there's a mistake, bad data get pushed, and there's a massive liquidation. So how do you make sure that their oracles are decentralized and verified? That is becoming more and more important for a lot of people. Like maybe a few years back, oh, the oracles are good enough. All right, let's use them. But now maybe it's like it's not good enough, doesn't make it. It has to be excellent because I'm putting more capital, I'm putting more money, and I cannot risk somebody making a little oopsie and me losing all my money because somebody messed up. So removing that, it's pretty exciting, guys. There was also that I wanted to talk about Firelight. There was a great video this week. I'm going to be making some videos on that. There's still not enough information, but I think Firelight, it's hard. I think it's one of the most ambitious DeFi projects in the last maybe 3 or 4 years. Like I'm confident to say that level of ambition, if they pull it out, I think it's going to be insane. So I'm also very bullish. If you have your staked XRP, you're accruing points. For legal reasons, they cannot say what those points are going to make it. But like I show you, I have a staked XRP, FXRP LP, which mostly tends 1-to-1. Like the price is pretty close. Not this one. And I'm making fees every time somebody swaps from one and the other. I'm making nice RFLR returns, and I'm getting my Firelight points by being in this liquidity pool. What they're going to be worth, I don't know. But I mean, I think they're going to be due. Centaura, I think it's a pretty big and serious player. So let's see. We're going to have more information probably closer to April. But yeah, I'm very, very, very bullish on Flare right now. It's just insane what's happening. And I think that in the same way, how XRP was quietly building and quietly building and quietly building, and nothing was happening, and everybody was hating on it, and nobody said anything, and just boring. And then one day just makes a big leap because You can tell me whatever you want about the XRP price, but I mean, I was buying at 20 cents. So even 180, that's what, 9x above my first buy. So like this has been performing pretty good. And I think Flare is going to be that quiet guy that it's building, and then it's going to surprise a lot of people. Especially because you can accumulate amazing quantities of Flare just by putting the capital that you already have. Like I haven't bought a single Flare in over a year. From my own money, I've gotten paid for my one-on-ones, for the grants, and all of those things, and that money I keep it. But from my pocket, I haven't bought one single Flare. But I've done everything in my power to accumulate more Flare.